I'm Dan Olds, and we're at the 2023 ASC Student Cluster Competition. And I have someone who's become an institution in these competitions as an observer, as a judge, and also has a huge career as an educator, big impact on HPC. Please introduce yourself, because I wouldn't do it justice.
Okay, I'm Guan, who came from University of Hong Kong. Well, I am a first generation HPC user, as I used it in the 1980, around that period.
And you started early.
Yeah.
Yes.
I finished my postgrad study in 1980. Then, because of personal interest, I switched to work as a staff in the computer center. And from there onwards, I started my career. And then in 1994, I was asked to take in charge of the newly developed HP service until I get full retirement from the university in 2020. So altogether 49 years stay in University of Hong Kong.
That's great.
So I cultivate more than 400 PhDs, and at least 50 are now full professor in all disciplines in science and technology, includes engine, science, medical, and finance and statistics, everything.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So you've been a judge at every ASC, haven't you?
Except the first one.
Except the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were still trying to figure out how to do it in the first one. So I've been in these judging sessions, and I'm going to be in the one tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they've changed over the years. What changes have you seen in the competition?
Well, I would say in the first few competition, we try to perform something like the SC in US. And that is, we use the different standard program like the HPR from Professor Don Gower.
HPCG.
Yeah. And then try to gauge your computer. So if your computer system is powerful enough, then normally you get very high result. Well, but later on, more intelligent question has been said. Say, I still remember something that I never encountered in the whole life. Say, try to do optimization and parallelization, and some of them is really overdone, I would say. Say, someone optimized his program, improve its performance by switching off the cooling fan. Have you heard about that?
Yes, I was there. I was standing right there when they did it. I call that the suicide LINPACK.
Yeah.
They turned off all of the fans.
Yeah.
They turned off everything they could, and they figured LINPACK was less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
They couldn't do much damage in 30 seconds, so let's turn it all on and go.
Yeah, but in real life, you can never do it.
No. But they won.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah, but I also appreciate that many of those applications come from the really challenging research area, say the AKA, and then say for the three-dimension wave reflection.
There was one, and maybe it was the AKA, but students were working on code that was about 10 years older than they were.
Yeah.
They were working on code from the 70s. It was still embedded in there, having to learn it. And it wasn't even Fortran, it was something else.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
Never mind, code is code.
Code is code.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Optimization comes from your mind.
That's right. It doesn't matter what the code is.
Yeah.
That's right.
But after 2017, when everyone knows what is AlphaGo, then we get more and more program, challenging program on the AI side. And well, actually this is something that I feel very astonished that those students knows better than the researcher.
I know. That's the thing that surprised me. This is without a doubt for the students the most difficult cluster competition in the world.
Yeah.
And it's just become more difficult
Yeah.
with more deep learning, more AI, more very cutting edge things that I'm frankly shocked they can do. And I guess you've seen the same thing.
Yeah. They, in old day, we have the HPC, then we try to ask the student to learn more HPC and enter this profession. But now, it looks that the student performs better than some of the career practitioners.
Wow.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
AI area. You know, everyone knows that Chinese are very top runner in this AI area, especially for the, say, Career 2, Career 3. You know who is the author? Jia Yangqing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Jia Yangqing. Well, he's just a postgraduate student when enrolling this system. But now it's more or less coming a standard in all the image processing.
It's
Right?
amazing. It's just incredible. That is just
So
incredible.
I just keep an eye on our builders next generation.
I mean, given the applications they're doing now, aside from the benchmarks, WRF is the easiest one. And WRF used to be the main challenge at some of these competitions, WRF Hydro.
Well, difficult to say. You know, in the old day, when you have money, you can buy the HPC setup. And more or less, once you get a setup, you have to connect all the stuff and you have to say set up Linux. More or less, you are the boss of your hardware.
Yeah.
But eventually, I think in the age of 2017, from there onwards, most of the vendors, say HP, Lenovo, gradually accumulate those kind of know-how. And so if you have enough budget to pay for buying the hardware, you can ask them to set up for you.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so when you look at the top 500 curve, you suddenly find that some of the performance go down because well, everyone using the commercial setup, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no one is really trying hard to drill into the system by using their own talent.
True. And most of those systems are general purpose systems that
Yeah.
are hard to set, not just single application
Yeah.
systems. So it's hard to have to tune them for everything.
Yeah.
The other thing that's interesting, have you walked around out there yet?
Just 20 minutes before.
Well, do that when you get a chance. Go back out. Take a look at how many nodes they're using. Remember back in the earlier
still-
competitions when it was 6, 8, 10 in some cases?
Yeah. I deal with those C14 in the year of 2004. 2004. Well, more or less, we get a leapfrog in every 10 years. 2003 is still a 32-bit machine, and then 2014 you get some native GPU card already. But
Yeah.
now we are coming towards 2024. What will be next, right? We have the A100 now available in market, but unfortunately not suitable for the HPC world. But who knows? For the next generation, who knows?
There's going to be a lot of other
Yeah.
accelerators
So
coming out.
HPC is again is a very challenging discipline. That if you are good in HPC 10 years before, it doesn't mean that you are good currently, and probably you will be left behind 10 years later, unless you keep on upkeeping yourself by reading different information on the hardware.
Yes, it's changed radically.
But for gen user, they never think about this part. They just want to drill into their application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you've sat on many judging committees.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're very tense,
Yeah.
sometimes they go pretty easily.
Yeah.
What would you tell? Well, first of all, let's talk about the process. What happens in the judging room?
Okay.
Because each student team comes in alone, without their professors, without their advisors, just them, and they see a room full of HPC and AI experts who have been around for many years. and then they have to present their results.
Yeah.
And then the questions begin.
Well, let me rephrase it in another way. Say, as I have been working in a university environment for more than 40 years, well, I would say taking such a oral presentation is just something similar to your job application.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes.
Well, when your boss asks you to, hey, just present yourself. Well, normally, someone is not nervous and try to keep up some format. Say, for some university, normally, when they present, you find that the presentation is very similar to last year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, well, they try to say something on every area, bit by bit, but there's no challenging point, no selling point. So eventually, we are judges, are human, right? If you ask them to sit over there for 4 hours and try to judge unbiasedly, it is really a nightmare, more than 24 weeks. So, but if you try to focus on something and miss out the big thing, normally you may get lost some mark. So my advice is try to present yourself, your achievement comprehensively, every area, but concisely.
Concisely.
Yes. Because you don't lose any mark on that part. But when coming to, when you have extra time left behind, try to elaborate something on your experience.
A story.
Whether it is successful or not successful. At least doing present something that is not presented by the other leagues. Then in that case, some of the judges will walk out, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then they will listen to you. That's very funny. The other judges are laughing.
Yes.
So it sounds so okay. Okay, so just if you are asked to write a passage, write something on every part, and then eventually, when you go to some area that you think is very good, then you elaborate on that. Okay, now I may want to tell you some secret on my personal experience. Say, how can you keep your standard unbiasedly throughout 4 hours?
It's hard.
Yeah, that's very hard.
It's hard.
Well, you dare not to go to Thailand.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, normally, we try to use the first one and the first comer and second comer as a reference.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I do
and
the
then,
same
well, he's okay. Okay, if for a total of 20 marks, I give him 60 marks. And for the, say, HPL this part, out of 10, I give him 8, something like that. Everyone try not to give it to the top.
No.
But and at least, well, give it to somewhere high mark. Then when the next comer comes in, you try to compare it with the
It's
first
dynamic.
two. Yeah.
It's dynamic.
It's
None of
better
that's
than
written in stone.
Better than the O2, add 1 to 2 mark to it. But it's not good as compared to the first, second one, deduces something.
Yes.
Right? But this approach is only work when the first and second comer is eventually becomes the topmost 1 or 2. That is, well, you keep on interviewing, try to perform interview on the less capable candidate. Eventually, you'll find that they never perform as good as the first, second one.
Yeah.
But if you're unlucky, the first and second one you encounter is the worst one. Then
Yes.
that's a big problem.
Now, the thing that I like to see in an interview, I like it when they tell me, and there's some schools that do this pretty well, some of the very experienced schools. Show me the application. What was your starting score on it, your starting throughput,
Yeah.
your results? What did you get to at the end? And how did you do it? How did you get there? That's just a simple formula to let us know We tried this. We tried this particular compiler, these flags. That was worse. That was way worse. That was scary worse.
Yeah.
But then tried a different compiler, different flags. Oh, wait a minute. We're starting to see something good here. And they tell the story of that application, but concisely. And we learn as much as judges from the failures, maybe more, how they overcame problems. Did they give up? You see some that just gave up. But the ones that overcome, that's where they get the big points.
Well, this is something worth mentioning, worth recording. It's good for the latecomer. Anyhow, they will come goes out to the industry, and this experience will help them for their whole life.
Oh,
their
yes.
Professional life.
And think of when you're interviewing for those jobs, and you'll be able to say that, well, I took part in this competition with a team, and we were under time pressure to do this and this and this. And here's the biggest problem we ran into.
Yeah.
And here's how we figured it out.
Yes.
Or here's how we didn't figure it out, but here's what we should have done. Those kinds of stories you don't get out of a classroom.
But some of these stories can only record during conversation. Difficult to write down in paper.
No, but it's good for an interview.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears, and since we're talking about interviews, what advice do you have for students here and everywhere who would like to get into HPC but aren't sure that they can or think that it's too hard, maybe?
Well, I would say in the OD, HPC people are very spacious in the market. It is difficult to recruit, and it's also difficult for them to find job. But eventually, when the world competition become keen, then all these people are very, very difficult to find. No matter you are talking about Huawei, AWS, and Google, and OpenAI, everything. Everyone is looking at real expert. They don't. They need some ordinary worker, but they really want to get someone who can demonstrate that really have some breakthrough during the last 10 years, this kind of thing, and they also have insight. So I think HPC requirement, HP, will always increase. And I would like to say that the postgraduate ratio in China is surprisingly higher than those in Western countries.
Yeah.
I was told that in China there are more than 40% of the university graduate trying hard to find a postgraduate position, whether it's a master or it's a PhD, they won't care. But at least they don't want to stop at the undergraduate level.
That's surprising. It's so high here.
Yeah, very high. And I was told that there are around 8 million of postgraduate every year graduating from China. But in Hong Kong, we just get a population of 8 million. So it means
it's another Hong Kong every year.
Hong Kong.
Wow.
Right? So if we can really use this kind of talent, then it will benefit Hong Kong, it will benefit GBA, Great Barrier, and will benefit to the whole China. Of course, some of them will go to US. But you see, US don't have enough enrollment at the present moment.
Not in scientific and technical, no.
Yeah. So most of those billion people in the AI area, which is normally are youngster at the age of 30 to 45, most of them are from China. Li Feifei, Jia Yangqing, all these are from China. It doesn't mean that US don't have enough talent, but most of those talent go in the other area.
Yeah.
Say go in the Wall Street, try to get an EMBA and all this, because they think, well, they are some of the brilliant students, and they worth to take up a more, say, profitable career.
More lucrative.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for doing something in the IT area, they think it's not economical.
Well, we have some great careers in our area,
Yeah.
in HPC, absolutely. And I mean, the thing I want to say is that they're out there. You can get them. And it's these kinds of competitions where you can prove that you've had hands-on experience that will help.
You see, in the last 3 years, when everyone is dealing with the COVID, you know, how much contribution is our HPC player and those information bioinformatic scientists?
Yes.
What they have contributed? Well, you cannot use money as a good estimator.
No.
So long as they save lots of people's life, that's it.
It's with HPC, you're working on the most important human problems with the best systems and software possible.
Yeah.
And that's a hell of a career.
Yeah.
You're really doing something.
Yeah. During the last year, even though I'm not entirely attached with the university already, but I know how much work they have been used in our HPC system and dealing with the COVID. Say how to do a molecular, ATCG, this kind of genome matching, how to produce theoretical drugs, say how can you invent the BioNTech and all this, and finally how to use update the computer with different real-time data, say to bring up the SIR model. You know what's SIR? Susceptibility, infection, and recovery. Try to estimate what is the current trend of the infection in the world. So it is amazing. Just before our Chinese New Year, everyone is thinking, whether we are getting another 4th year of COVID. Suddenly, the China government suddenly leave out all the restrictions on the injection and the mouth coverage and all this. And next day or next week, everyone in China get infected. But infected up to a very minor level.
Extent.
And
yes.
It is not toxic, but just behave like something that everyone get another extra injection. Then after the Chinese, just while in the Chinese year, everyone is covered, and in March 1st, then the restriction in Hong Kong is lifted. So now you see I can travel from Hong Kong to here without any restriction. So everything is not by hope. It is something that really under very important scientific calculation and determination. If you do something wrong, there will be million casualty. But if you do it well,
you do it right,
yeah.
Which is what we had every major supercomputer in the world working on this cooperatively.
In our scientists. And what I so totally respect our HPC player in this area, so as to save millions' lives and have our contribution to the world.
Yes, that's a great note to close on. Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you out there for watching. We really appreciate it. And go into HPC. It's very rewarding. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.